Hello, my name is Barbara Kay, and on behalf of my co-host Susan Portnoy and the Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County, I'd like to welcome you to our program, Mosaic.
Our special focus today is a celebration of our most generous philanthropists. We'll be back with our program and our special guests after this brief message.
What if you could change the world? You can. We can do it together. With the Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County, you are here, and we are all connected. Together, we can enrich Jewish life, care for vulnerable populations, and build global Jewish community. That's what we do, every day, here at home and around the globe.
They say that caring for the elderly is a profession of the heart. As the director of home health care at Morse Life, I know that to be true. When I see an older person feeling safe and secure at home, I know I've done my job. To make a difference, to show compassion, dignity, and respect, it's not just our job, it's our mission.
Morse Life Home Health Care.
Morse Life Health System, honoring senior living.
Our Jewish Federation has accomplished so much, and still, needs keep growing. You can help us do even more. Community, like every gift, counts. Together, we can ensure a vibrant Jewish future. Federation and you, changing the world together.
Welcome back, and welcome to you, Mark Levy, Erwin Levy, father and son. You two look so handsome.
Oh.
I'm so happy to have you here. You're the chairs of tonight's philanthropic involvement that we're going through. Beautiful party. There is nothing more exciting to me than to have a collective group of people coming together because they're doing something really wonderful. You guys have done something wonderful all your lives.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
You don't think so? Does it come from your environment? Do you think your background, your home?
Mine wasn't like his.
No, well you taught him. No, seriously.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what got you involved in, just looking around and say, I'm going to make the world a better place?
I don't think I ever did that, but I did what I thought was successful potential, and at the same time could help people. And
which you've done.
Doing that makes me feel good.
Yeah. How do you feel about it? The same. You saw Dad and Mom.
I had a great living example growing up in the house that I did, and as you know, because you knew me growing up.
Yes, I did.
And I had the example of both my mother and my father, the way they lived their lives, and the engagement in Jewish community that I saw and felt at a instinctive level or a visceral level.
Right.
And when it came my time to get engaged and involved, slowly but surely, I followed in those footsteps that my parents both had forged for me.
Yeah, you know something, one generation to another is thrilling. That's what we all hope for. I mean, this is exactly what you wanted, and his children are doing the same thing.
I'm very proud.
You should be. You should feel very good.
Sure am.
What are some of the choice things that you participated in that makes you feel really good? Some of them? Community?
Well, there's a lot of things from the beginning when I got here. It's a long time. I'm here now 65 years.
You're living here 65?
Almost.
Wow.
1951.
Uh-huh.
And it was a very, very small community and very few Jewish people. And it grew, and was involved as a person between synagogues and the Federation when it got started, and you get involved. And in those days, there was only that to do. There isn't like people now grab planes and go here and there. You didn't do that.
Now, this was your activity.
Yeah, sure.
No, but you actually did
Was
some
what-
wonderful things, Erwin.
Well, I can't complain.
No, you shouldn't.
I'm happy with some of the things I've done, and I live with it. That's it.
Well, you had a president of the Federation on
Yeah.
your right here.
That's
Your
right.
son was running the community.
He followed his mother.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
And you followed my mother as well
I did.
as a former president of our Jewish Federation.
She was a big motivator for me.
Right. Yeah.
She was.
And now I'm involved at the Jewish Agency for Israel, and my father was on the executive of board of the Jewish Agency for Israel, and was chairman of some of the major companies, and I followed in his footsteps. That's part of the program that builds the state of Israel, and I learned from Dad a lot, enormous amount about Israel and the Jewish Agency and its role in international Jewish world, as well as from my mother, the local Jewish community.
You know something that people don't realize, the Jewish Federation literally raises money in each individual community, and a portion of that money goes to their partners overseas. One is the Joint Distribution Committee,
Correct.
and the other is the Jewish Agency.
Right.
And they do wonderful work. They work in 168 countries around the world, the Joint does. I tell you something, it's thrilling. Have you gone to visit some of the things that you've put together? Like if you go to the region, have you seen what they've done there?
Many times. We've been up to our partnership region, the Sachar region, which is Safat, Hatzor, and Rosh Pina, and the programs that are being operated there. Before that, our federation was in Project Renewal in Hod HaSharon back in the 80s. And my parents dedicated the Gene and Earl Levy Daycare Center in Hod HaSharon.
Which I saw.
And I
was
just
beautiful.
visited it
Still
last
there.
year.
It's still going.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And I go to Israel 3 times a year, and Dad plans to go this June, and we're excited about that.
Okay. Well, you know what's interesting?
And also St. Petersburg.
Oh, St.
and-
Petersburg, right.
which is a partnership of ours, and so forth.
You know what else I was thinking about when you talk about intergenerational opportunity like this? It's so hard to develop and bring young people along today. Do you find that difficult in our community?
Well, I don't, because I'm a little bit
No,
too
but
old,
it's
to
important,
know
you
what's
know.
going on the lower level. But I think the community as a whole is doing reasonably well. And the problem, of course, is that people have a lot of other things that they can do that are available and entice them into doing. And we had very little things to do, so it gave us an opportunity to really concentrate on accomplishing things that turned out to be beneficial.
What were you going to say, Mark?
No, I believe that that as I grew up, Jewish Federation and Jewish organizational involvement was part of my whole life.
Yeah.
I think that to a lesser extent, the generation after me, my children's generation, and my children are adults, they're 30, 33, have not had that same type of immersive experience in Jewish causes. They can be involved, as my father said, in, I think, any organization they want. There was a time when Jews didn't get involved in other organizations. Whether they were not welcomed, I don't know.
Well, that's a good
but that was a
point,
different
too.
time.
Yes.
Or whether so it is a choice that you have to make now as to engaging and embracing Jewish causes versus embracing or engaging in charitable activities that are unrelated to your people.
That's why it's so wonderful for all of us to be together tonight and have a collective evidence of people that are doing what we believe is the right thing to do. I thank you so much. You two are so special. We're going to have this wonderful celebration tonight, and we have 2 Broadway stars that you're going to see and hear. So just relax and enjoy it together, and we'll be back with the remainder of our program right after this brief message.
Through our partner agency programs in Israel, Federation creates opportunities for at-risk youth, families, and seniors. We also provide emergency assistance to the victims of terrorism. Community, like every gift, counts. Together, we can ensure a vibrant Jewish future. Federation and you, changing the world together.
The patients who come to us after illness or injury are often in pain and fearful of losing their independence. I make it my mission to treat them like family. I listen to their concerns. I help them heal and gain strength. My goal is for them to not need us. To know that I help them, there's no better feeling.
Morse Life Short-Term Rehabilitation.
Morse Life Health System, honoring senior living.
What if you could change the world? You can. We can do it together. With the Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County, you are here, and we are all connected. Together, we can enrich Jewish life, care for vulnerable populations, and build global Jewish community. That's what we do, every day, here at home and around the globe.
Welcome back, and welcome Kelly Barrett and Jarrod Spector,
Hi.
Broadway's favorite couple.
Oh, thank you. You might be the first to have said it, but I we appreciate it
I don't
nonetheless.
think I am. Kelly, let's start with you.
Okay.
You are a superstar. You recently headlined in Dr. Zhivago as Laura.
I did, yeah.
You've been in Wicked and The Royal Family, as well as many other Broadway hits. And you're a star
Or flops.
of film.
It depends on who you're asking.
Well, you're asking a fan. Film and television. As a matter of fact, I saw you last night on Law and Order SVU.
I did. I didn't see it because I was on the airplane.
We haven't
so
watched it yet because we were traveling.
I had like 20 missed texts.
I was all excited. I am just such a fan.
Thank you.
Tell me your background a little bit. You're from Virginia Beach, I think?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Virginia Beach and in the Norfolk area. And I grew up performing. I performed in the Hurrah Players as a young girl, starting around age 11. And then I went to the Governor's School for the Arts in Norfolk. And then I went to Philly, which incidentally is where Jarrod is from, even though we didn't meet there. I went to college in Philly at University of the Arts.
And which medium do you prefer?
That's tricky. I like them all, and I love being able to go back and forth because they're just completely different animals. Theater is definitely my first love. Being able to go out on stage and tell a story with an arc and feel that journey every night from the inception to the completion of the characters is really great, and the energy with the audience. So I would say theater probably.
But isn't music very much a part of
absolutely
your life?
Very much so. I was raised. I was raised by a single mother. She was a bar manager for 45 years, I believe, and I grew up singing in her bar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like karaoke nights and with the house band and stuff, and watching bands come through, like Hootie and the Blowfish and Ani DeFranco, and my dad was a roadie. My stepdad, who's my father, he's a sound engineer for many years. Merle Haggard, Live, Blues Traveler. So I grew up in very much a musical family and singing from a very young age. So music's a huge part of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it.
Yeah.
And you, Mr. Spector, apparently you've been singing since you were 3.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Professionally.
Professionally.
Amazing.
Yeah, my parents had me in voice lessons before I was 3 years old. Yeah.
Were they in show business?
No, my father was a drummer, and and his father was a drummer. So I definitely have music in my family. My mother actually has a lovely voice, and my sister's a dancer. I mean, we have a sort of an artistic family. No one has been in like on Broadway or done anything in that capacity until me, but I definitely have a musical family.
Well, just to tell our viewing audience, you were in Les Miserables at age 9.
Yes, that's right.
And
That's
then
right.
apparently you took a hiatus through school. And
I did. Yeah, my parents had me acting from a very young age. acting and singing from 3 years old up. I mean, I was on Star Search with Ed McMahon when I was 6, which, when you look back at it now, is first of all so long ago. We're not going to talk about it out loud, but also it's just
you can find him on YouTube.
You can, yeah. But it also just seems like an entirely different person, and it really, very much was, because here I was a kid sort of being led around by the hand and saying, "Go here, sing this, do that," and I was having a great time, but none of it was sort of my decision, because what 6-year-old says I want to go, audition for Star Search or for.
I picked at 10.
Oh, okay. I don't. So I was in Les Miserables, and I did a lot of shows, and I did a lot of. I was in the business pretty heavily until I was about 15, and when I was in a sitcom pilot for NBC that didn't go exactly as it was supposed to go, and it wasn't picked up, and I was devastated in a way that I knew was beyond the emotional capacity of someone my age. And so, though I was immature in some ways, in this way I was mature enough to say, you know what, I can't handle this, and nor do I want to. I just want to be regular, whatever that means. There is no such thing, but in my mind it was not having to deal with career crises at 15, 16 years of age. So I worked real hard. I went to Princeton, and 2 years of economics and finance and Chinese, and I whether by nature or nurture, I sort of realized what it was that I wanted to do, or the only thing that I felt that I could do. And so I left school, which my parents were not thrilled about, but they were very supportive. No parent wants to hear their kid tell them that they're going to leave Princeton University, but anyway, I did. And
That's difficult.
It's tricky.
To be a singer.
To be a singer and an actor, to move back to New York and try to make it. But eventually I got the best education I ever received, which was 2.5 years of conservatory training at the Atlantic Theater Company in New York, and that was what sort of relaunched my acting career as an adult, where I did it of my own accord rather than being pushed into it.
So you starred for 1,500 performances as Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons.
Yep.
I think I saw you 4 times.
Oh, great. Nice.
And then you created the role of Barry Mann in the hit Beautiful, the Carole King musical, where you received a Tony nomination.
I did, yeah.
How did you prepare for that role?
Well, I get that question a lot in terms of, playing Frankie versus playing Barry, because they're both real people. The fact of the matter is everyone knows Frankie Valli, or most people who come to Jersey Boys. Everyone knows him, and everyone knows his music, and they have a very specific image, and they have a very specific sound that they're expecting. And so you really have to honor that almost to a T. I mean, without doing an imitation, because that's obviously not what we want to do, but to really recreate that person, that image, that sound. Whereas Barry is a little more obscure, even though the songs that he and his incredible wife Cynthia Weil wrote are everywhere, and some of the biggest hits of all time, including "You've Lost a Love and Feeling," which is the most played song on radio. But not everyone knows who wrote the songs, and so there's a little more liberty there in terms of I started with the words on the page, like doing the good actor thing, which is here's my script and here's what the piece of material that I'm analyzing, and then sort of bringing in externals, like watching clips of them speaking, listening to him sing a little bit, because he was actually the original singer on Who Put the Bomp in the Bomp-a-Bomp-a-Bomp.
Oh.
Yeah, he wrote and sang that song. And I've heard him sing a whole bunch, but it doesn't have to be quite the same recreation. It doesn't have to be quite as loyal to Barry. Though the more I got to know him, I realized how, first, our script writer, Doug McGrath, did an incredible job of capturing the essence of all the characters, but I mean, for me, personally, of Barry. And so it was easy to to glean what I could from the real person.
Well, he's a hypochondriac.
And
a little neurotic.
He's neurotic too. It's not that big of a stretch for Jarrod.
I'm a Jewish musician who grew up in Philadelphia. He's a Jewish musician who grew up in Brooklyn. So it's not like, this isn't a huge stretch here. And and they've just been so wonderful. So whatever I can, I mean, the more I did the show and more I got to know Barry and Cynthia, the more I could pull in anything that's personal to them, whether it be their little nuances and traits and the way that they interact with each other, still together after 54 years. I mean, I did that as much as I could.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
You know what's so wonderful about that show? I actually took my mother and my daughter, my teenage daughter, to see the show. We went together, and all of us were so excited. It just is a multi-generational show. Have you found that when you go to the stage door?
Yes. Oh my goodness, the words out of my mouth. Yes, I have found that both with Jersey Boys and with Beautiful, because you're taking music that is just eternal. I mean, these songs are good under any circumstance for any audience. I mean, you just can't argue against You've Got a Friend and all the songs that are in these shows. And so any generation can find some version of of that music in their lives, whether it's someone my age who grew up with having my parents play it for me, or if you're younger than me and grow up, let's say you're 11, 12, 15 years old and you listen to Sarah Bareilles. Well, Sarah Bareilles was influenced by Carole King, and so the music just blasts from one generation to the next, and so everyone can really get into these stories. And at the heart of both stories, and especially the heart of Beautiful, it's about two couples. I mean, and you know what I mean? So the story itself is relatable to anyone, and who wouldn't want to watch a young, sweet, shy 16-year-old blossom into this huge superstar?
It's really remarkable.
Yeah.
I had no idea her story was so intense.
I had no idea.
Right. I think that's why Tapestry resonates so much, especially with women. It was the first woman, solo artist coming out and saying, like, these are my feelings. This is what happened to me. And now we have like Adele, who represents this generation's kind of idea of that. But Carole King started that, and I think that's why every generation loves the music and can relate to the music. It's the pain, it's the emotionality that's in those songs.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah. So tell me, how did you two meet? Who wants to tell us?
A show. We did meet doing a show. We were both in other relationships when we met.
Were you a love interest in the show?
We played husband and wife. He died in my arms every day. It was one of those kind of things.
So you do that for weeks and weeks and weeks, dying in the arms of someone who looks, sounds, acts, and is as compassionate and talented and lovely and brilliant as Kelly. And it's hard not to fall in love with her.
Well, here's a $1 million question. Yeah. What happens when you are romantically involved on stage with the leading person? Are you concerned about that?
Yeah, well, concerned is
wrong word.
No, it's definitely an issue for any show couple. Yeah. Showman's couple.
It would be naive to think that it's never going to become an issue, or it's never anything that we're going to have to tackle in some capacity, even in the smallest of capacities. At some point, one person will say, we'll have an experience with someone on stage, and even if it's entirely professional, we can misconstrue it, and so we're constantly being proactive and speaking to one another about that.
Yeah, we draw pretty good lines with our current, I just had a co-star that I just did something with after I was married, and so I had to be very firm about here's what, here's our on-stage relationship, here's our off-stage, and we always bring our co-stars into each other's lives. He went from Anika Larson, who played Cynthia Weil, to this other woman, Jessica Keenan-Wynn, who now has become a dear friend of both of ours. So we keep everyone in the family, and we make everyone know that we're really tight and we want to know them, and it's not ever a secret. There's never.
That's really the trick. That is the trick. There are no secrets.
Yeah, in the shadows. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. And you want to talk about your wife and how she doesn't know how to use the computer. He was voted. Sexiest man on Broadway.
Oh, and I clicked the wrong guy, Jake Epstein. I clicked the wrong name.
They were next to each other, I think.
He did win in spite of you.
In spite of her.
They were.
I think the whole thing was rigged. I don't think it matters anyway. No, Broadway.com is very. They're on the.
No, they know what they're doing. You're the sexiest. Come on, you're the sexiest man on Broadway. Please.
So I hear that you're collaborating a show together. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. We premiered part of what you just asked actually about what happens when you're an artistic couple and you're together, and some of the trials and tribulations that come along with that are unique to being an artist, in this case being an actor, but no matter what part of the industry you're in, there are definitely unique challenges. And so inspired by Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil and Carole King and Jerry Goffin, having really become attached to them in Beautiful, one of those couples made it, and are still together 55 years later, and the other did not make it. And so, of course, we ask why. Why did one make it and one did not? And not long ago, I had the great pleasure of singing at a benefit to honor Alan and Marilyn Bergman. And at the end of the night, they got up on stage and he sang to her, and we're just in the audience bawling,
watching this. How old are they now?
He's 90.
Yeah.
So you have 90-year-old Alan singing to his 85-year-old bride, and I've never seen anything like that.
Singing a love song that they wrote, 30 or 40 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was a remarkable experience, and
there's a show here. There's a show here about married collaborative couples. We got home that night and we were like, we want to write, because we were newlyweds at the time and we wanted to learn, what did they have? What do Alan and Marilyn have? What's the secret sauce there that's keeping that going?
Right, what does Cynthia
that
and Barry
maybe
have?
Carol and Jerry did not, and as we did more research,
Sonny
Ike
and
and
Cher.
Tina, Sonny and Cher, and then you've got Ashford and Simpson, and Paul McCartney and Linda, and we just found all of these amazing married couples, and we loved all their music, so we made a night of it. We explore the music, we explore the marriages, and we kind of tell, like, you know, there's cautionary tales about why certain things didn't work out, and there's really, you know, some great success stories and why those worked out. And
right, and the fact of the matter is that we're still so new in this world, and all we're trying to do is learn, really, and we don't purport to know anything by the end of the night, or really at this moment, we can say, but these things worked and these things did not, and we think, you know, sometimes it's funny because Alan and Marilyn wrote so many songs where the questions, where the titles are questions. Yeah. What are you doing for the rest of your life? How do you keep the music playing? Songs like that, and we think, you know, that's one of the things that, you know, you start asking the questions and trying to answer them the best you can and we're hoping that the
half
harder
of the battle to success is knowing to ask the questions.
Yeah, and
it's
trying
kind
to
of what
figure
we've
it out.
realized.
So how often are you performing your new collaborative?
Every month we've got we gig somewhere. Some months are more
it's
crazy than others.
I'm still in Beautiful, so I'm on an 8-show a week schedule. But I took a week off and we were able to premiere it for 5 shows at 54 Below, which is sort of the Fine Signs at 54 Below, which is the premier nightclub in New York right now. And so they were wonderful, and they had us there. And so, you know, we perform as often as we can, given you know, the intricacies of the Broadway schedule.
Oh, how does it feel to watch each other perform?
I think he's one of the greatest living performers. I do. I mean, just to say that, I think his voice is timeless. I think his understanding of musicality is very special, and I've seen his solo concert, I don't know, 12 times. I would go, we were just friends at the time when he had his first concert. This was 3 concerts ago. We were just friends, and I said, can I come again? He goes, you don't have to. And I was like, I want to come again. I love that show, and I loved watching him, and I saw Jersey Boys 5 times before we were together, and I just think he's remarkable. He's really special.
I mean, I don't know what to, and vice versa. I mean, I could just spout the same things, but Kelly is truly a remarkable performer. Her interpretation of song and lyric and her ability to tell a story, whether through dialogue or monologue or through song, is unparalleled. And her ability to access emotion. I mean, she's amazing.
You didn't know you need Pepto-Bismol for this part.
You two appear like you're in for the long haul. Trust me.
I hope so. We hope so.
It's wonderful to see this, and I'm very excited because tonight we're celebrating our most generous philanthropists with a performance by the two of you. So thank you very much. It should be a wonderful evening.
Yeah, we're really grateful.
Thank you for
We're
joining
so
us.
happy to be here and to help. Yeah.
What a fun show. I mean, stars from Broadway, that's so exciting.
It really was, and I have to tell you, I'm so proud of our people being together, coming together to celebrate goodness. It's wonderful.
It is.
Thank you so much for being with us. Be with us again next week. We have another look into the Jewish world. Goodbye from Mosaic.